Good morning, story trading VIPs. Welcome to the pre-market prep. We got a few things to talk about. All right, first you can see QQQ, SPY, ARC, everything's bouncing a little bit. We had our weekly meetup last night. We took a look at the charts and the big moving averages and the possibilities to the downside that we may have to look out for. So all that was covered last night for our VIPs. So we all have a good handle on that. And see, we're getting a bounce this morning. I like seeing oil and natural gas down. I don't know what's driving that. Haven't looked into it, but I like seeing that. Now, let's jump into PLAB earnings. So PLAB, the street was estimating $210 million revenue and 50 cents earnings. So they came out with a beat on those numbers. It ended up being 219. They beat by 10 million, and earnings were just a beat by a penny. But guidance for Q4 was a little bit light. You can see here Q4 guidance 205 to 215 versus 214.53 estimate, just a little bit light. Now, I was just listening to the conference call on the way over here, and really it didn't sound that bad. And we game played this out, the different scenarios that could happen last night on the show. And we actually basically said this, that look, if it's not going to be a beat and a raise, then you might get a pullback to the next two support levels, which were $18 and $20. Okay, so that looks to be what's happening. I'll show you these support levels. 200 DMA here at 1830. Then we have the let's see, where's the $20 one? There we go. The 20-week moving average at $20. Also the 50-week moving average at around $18. So 18 to 20 was my buy zone for exactly this possible scenario that we game played out. And so I was buying. This morning. I started buying at 1970. I bought at 1870. Then I got a nice chunk at $18, which was fun. I think that's going to be a good buy. But yeah, I was just listening to it, and look, it's not all rosy. Like, listen, they're making money hand over fist. From that perspective, balance sheet perspective, doing well, making money, all that's good. But from a commentary perspective and forward-looking, that they were acknowledging in terms of the global economy. So, that's always going to weigh sentiment-wise. But I think fundamentally, I'm betting this 50-week moving average is going to hold right here. No, 50. Yeah, that's a 50-week moving average. You can see how long it's been holding all the way up. So that's the bet I made here. We'll see how high it rebounds. Those $18 shares I bought just minutes ago, already 19 by 1940. So we'll see how that plays out. Overall, even with the shares I bought, I am down. Tough to make money, right? Because I had a fairly large position going into the report here. So you got to deal with the cards that are dealt to you. And at least in this case, we prepared last night, and I decided to buy more in those support ranges, which so far is turning out good. So that's the story with PLAB. There is some conversation going on. Travis is doing a great job updating everyone in the PLAB research group on that. Okay. There's some news on FREY, FREY. We brought this to the community a few days ago. Well, we knew about it from before. It's been on our watch list, but we noted it a few days ago because Goldman Sachs upgraded it with the $18 price target. This thing gap and basically ran. So I didn't want to buy it like 12.10. I'm like, I don't want to buy the gap. Let me hope for a pullback during the day. Didn't get it. I ended up buying at 13. And I guess they knew something because they released some news this morning, and it's gapping up again. Now, there's a Kevin in our room who knows the stock well. He's providing some commentary on this deal right here. It's FREY battery. I don't know how you pronounce that. And this is the execution of 38 gigawatt lithium-ion battery binding cell sales agreement, entry into module and pack joint venture for energy storage solutions with NIDA Corporation. So we got some commentary from him that this is actually a fundamentally significant deal. It's a real order. It's a big order. I didn't see any numbers attached to it, but they provided some here. They says the volumes represent 50% of their targeted production from Giga Arctic by 2030, right? The contracted volumes equate to total project projected revenues in excess of $3 billion. So there are some numbers, I apologize. So that's something big over here. Market cap $1.5 billion. So I don't know. Are we going to get a pullback or not? I'm not sure. But, I have a starter position. I got at 13 because we have that uh, collaboration and that input from someone in our community who knows the company more fundamentally speaking. I have more confidence to buy this. To buy any maybe shallow dips. Maybe not going to wait for a big dip, but I think I do want to increase my position in this FREY. Okay, so great news there on FREY. Big number. I just saw that in real time. When I scanned this morning, I saw the 50%. I didn't get down to reading the 3 billion. Oh man, they should have put that in the headline. The stock would be up like 20% right now. All right, so $3 billion deal for FREY. Very cool. All right, CFVI. I went through this in detail last night. Went through the thesis of why I think this is not just hype. What's going on right now for Rumble, I believe, is a good positive fundamental impact on the stock, which is why I think that some of these gains are going to hold. Maybe we're going to go on a secondary run here today. So I'm not holding. I'm not selling any of my common shares, but I have been actively trading around these warrants because they're very volatile. They went up a lot. So this is where I'm taking some profits. Also, you have big spreads. So you have to have the opportunity to sell at the ask, buy at the bid. So I've been doing that. I'll continue doing that today. As far as my common shares, I'm going to hold. I went through a little bit on the valuation side as well of why I think this can get to the mid-teens, either before or after it de-specs. Now, I just wanted to note this chart here, going back to FREY. This is also a spec, and look what it did here. I'm not sure if this was the vote, probably when they identified the candidate or something. You can see it went from 10 to 15, then back to 10, then when it de-specced. Look at this crazy volatility. This is the chart that I'm imagining for CFVI once it de-specs. Okay, there's going to be crazy volatility. You're going to have risk to the downside. Look, when FREY went all the way to 7, then up to 14. This is a very common type of behavior you see with SPACs after they de-SPAC. So something like this is what I expect for CFVI. So take that into account in terms of how you want to trade it. All right, BCRX had some orphan drugs in with Zach on the importance of that. And it's hard to say. Here it is. Maybe not so impactful. If this was a microcap stock, it would be up 50-60% on this news, but this is a $2.6 billion company and potentially a small TAM on this. So far, not reacting, but it is hitting the 20 DMA there. And I wonder if this news is enough to be a catalyst to get a bounce off that 20 DMA today. I think it might be. So those of you interested in maybe adding or taking a look at that, you could do that. BCRX. Twitter, we're just monitoring the news here. Elon Musk filed something, termination letter that he sent to Twitter. And you can see based on the leaker or the, what do you call it there? Whistleblower over at Twitter. You all know the story. It's been in the news. So now he officially put that in. A little positive reaction, pre-market, Tesla. But this is pretty much, I think, known news. It's been out there for about a week. Here, the big drop was here, right? August 23rd. This was the drop, and today was the official letter. So not big movement on Twitter or Tesla, aside from that little initial pre-market reaction. T-Mobile, I'm watching. I'm still in this. I like how it was very strong yesterday in the down market. It's very near its all-time highs, and I'm in October 150 calls. I like this pattern here. This little V cup, not really a cup, but it's a V there, challenging that all-time high again. So I'm still holding on to this, hopeful that this breaks out and I can unload those calls. So that's the story of TMUS. Celsius, I do like this at the 20 DMA right here. I think it may not hold, but I think it's a good bet, right? Better to buy at the 20 DMA than and above it, So now that we're here, you can see last time it touched it, it took off. There's a pretty big retraction from 118 all the way to 104 yesterday. Is that like a 10% move or so? More. It's more. I don't know, 12 to 15%, something like that. So seeing a bounce in pre-market, but I think that technically speaking, and sentiment floor of the Pepsi deal, that's my view on it. I know some fundamentalists disagree with me there, saying Celsius is too expensive. I disagree. Man, there was a great tweet that from Mark Mervini, I think it was. That basically said he has seen undervalued companies go to zero and overvalued companies go up 10 times. And it's all about what's in demand, what people want to buy. And the stock market's all about buying what you think other people are going to want to buy tomorrow, right? That's what it's all about. And he said he's made millions of dollars that way. And that's what I try to do at Story Trading. And fundamentals are important as one of the four pillars simply because other people care about it. That's the only reason I care about fundamentals, right? So in a way, just as important as sentiment, just as important as catalysts and technicals, it's all important. It's all about demand, supply and demand, and what the other people want to buy. And there's different reasons why people want to buy an asset. Some of that's based on sentiment, some of it's based on catalysts, some of it's based on fundamentals. So we like to consider everything. That's why I think Celsius is going to be pretty much indefinitely overvalued at this point with Pepsi behind them. I think you can throw away, any fundamentalists are going to miss out. Like I think the stock's going to end up going to 140, 150 in the next couple of years, and the fundamentals are all going to miss it because it's quote unquote undervalued. It's going to get a sentiment premium because Pepsi's behind them. They're going into the international market, and you're going to see investors wanting to see the market gap, the gap between market caps get closer between Celsius and Monster and private Red Bull, right? Celsius is still just an $8 billion company compared to the others, which are tens of billions of dollars. So to me, that's the thesis. That's the story. That's what's going to drive investor interest. And all I care about is investor interest. I don't care if a spreadsheet says something's too expensive. I only care if someone is potentially going to buy a stock. And there's reasons to buy aside from what a spreadsheet says. So that's the story with Celsius. All right. And that's about it. Oh, I want to point out air. We noted yesterday on the pre-market show. I said it yesterday morning. Those of you here. Yes, let's see. The close was 1678. Wow, did it really close at 1678? And I said this can go down several dollars in this market. It went down to low 1551, below the 20-week moving average, 20-day moving average. Actually, someone on the show last night, show I participate in at Wolf Financial, noted this as a short, and I kind of agree with them. But I'm not shorting it because it's a core position for me, and we know another customer other than OnSemi can come anytime, and then the stock will probably promptly double within a few weeks. So I did take a little bit off because it broke the 20 DMA, but certainly this move makes sense because technicals matter. You've moved up way too much over here. Broke the 20 DMA. That's a little bit of an ugly looking break. So you can still move down a few more dollars on air. Or you get news and you rock it, right? So uranium, we kind of missed this yesterday morning. During the day yesterday, we got caught up with it, but I guess there was a raft of news stories over the weekend on uranium causing the whole sector to go up. So I got positions in all of these: SMR, UUU, CCJ, DNN. So all of them did great. I think I added a little more SMR yesterday because it was lagging the other uranium plays. And I added also Paladin Energy, PALAF. It was lagging some of the other uranium plays. Here it is. You can tell it's a little smaller company. It's not showing up there. Paladin Energy. So yeah, I bought this one. By the way, Paladin, it's a 1.7 billion market cap. It looks like a penny stock, but it's really not. And it's actually part of the uranium ETF here, URNM, spot uranium miners. If you go to portfolio, you'll actually see Paladin Energy listed over there as number 5. So yeah, I wish we had the news for you early in the morning yesterday. We didn't. CCJ, everything was up 10% plus. Anyway, this is a core holding for me. We've done many, many shows on uranium. last year. Basically looking at a long-term bull in this. So great. Hopefully you all have a position and you're benefiting from that. But obviously we like to take advantage of the smaller time frame moves. So hopefully next time we'll do a better job of catching the catalysts that cause these short-term moves on uranium. We did miss it yesterday morning, but we are getting that exposure once again, so that's good. All right, so that's all I got. Let's see how PLAB is doing. Still doing good off that $18 entry I had. And FREY, I'll be looking at possibly adding. CFVI, I'm looking at adding the dips, possibly on common shares, and just trading around the core on the warrants. So that's the story over there. And hopefully have some other leads, other things to trade. Gave you some things over here. Oh, F Solar. I forgot to mention BBY and First Solar. BBY had earnings. Best Buy. I don't really follow this stock, but it's in the headlines. I want to cover the big companies that are the headlines. So Best Buy beat expectations, better than expected Q2 EPS and sales results, but they were already pulled back significantly their expectations. So you're getting a little bit of a rally here because beating expectations, and that's what the game is all about. Because a lot of the bad news is already priced in. So I haven't looked at the commentary to see what's driving. It's important to look at that. Take a look at that. See if we can get any clues about the economy, macroeconomics. There we have First Solar up 3% to wow, this stock has been really strong, and we've missed the whole solar theme actually at StoryTrading. Haven't had many presentations on that at all. You can see 52-week range, $126. And they had news here. First Solar earmarks $1.2 billion in U.S. plants toward cleaner energy, likely to create 15K jobs by 2025. This is interesting because I guess people are really forward looking on this one. I mean, production of American-made responsible solar. I mean, this sounds like something that's expensive for the company. Big capex, U.S. made. I don't know what's necessarily driving the positive sentiment on this, except I don't know, ESG. They're becoming a bigger part of that. Maybe they're getting a bunch of money. Maybe this is being paid for, this $15 billion investment in passing the Inflation Reduction Act of 2022. They talk about that. So I don't know. I don't know First Solar well, but this sector has been really hot and we haven't covered it. You can see TAN is up at 1% because of First Solar. This chart not as good as First Solar. Maybe it has some additional upside, but I'm going to throw a request out there to the community. If any of you are experts, we've had countless presentations on uranium. We really have had none on solar. So if you are a solar expert, or even if there's one solar stock that you know well, that you've invested in, that you like, bring it to our attention. I'd love to have a presentation and educate our community more on solar. So that's the story. Let me just cover SIGA. Someone asked me about it last night on the weekly show. $15 was a support level after the 50 DMA. Right there, you can see all the candles there. Right there, it's a little more clear on the weekly chart. You can see the $15 right there, $15 right there, resistance, and $15 broke. So again, the concept, the resistance that breaks, then becomes support. So you saw this bounce off 15.25 yesterday in pre-market. I think there is the possibility it breaks the 15 and goes lower because sentiment is really, really bad for monkeypox right now, because the situation is getting better and because we're waiting for trial results on SIGA. But fundamentally, this company is really strong, and what's going on here doesn't really impact them fundamentally. I think the stock longer term is going to break to new highs over the next year or so. But short term, there's still some doubt here of what happens. But whoever bought that $15, it didn't quite get to 15. I called out the 15, got to 15.25, but that's the story over there. All right, we're still waiting on Drio news. That's killing me, man. Give us some news, man. Give us some Drio news. Oh man, I need it. All right, let's see what else we got. Meta Meta, Trump lashes out at FBI after Zuckerberg's Hunter Biden comments. Oh, hey, yeah, that was funny. He says he should be reinstated as president immediately. He knows how to get attention, doesn't he? Quick logic to participate. Okay, in a conference. What else do we have? And that's it. All right, so we got just a few news stories today. Let's keep the collaboration going. What's today? Is it Tuesday? Is it Wednesday? It's Tuesday. I haven't slept a lot the last couple days. So anyway, keep up the great work. Keep up the collaboration. Curious to see what other people say about PLAB in the PLAB research group from today's earnings. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. If you're not a VIP yet, head on over to StoryTrading.com. You can upgrade over there and join us live every morning at 9 a.m. Thanks for joining.